presentation is called, sounds a bit fancy, it's called The Future of Work. And I'm happy to announce that Steffen Tenschert from our partner UiPath is presenting this interesting presentation, and together in cooperation with Elmar again. So let's have a look what future of work means. Elmar and Steffen, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Ansgar, and welcome, Steffen. I think my face now enough to see, so I already present your picture, and let us directly start to the presentation that we don't lose time. And the topic is the future of work, Steffen. How do we need to change our culture so that we are prepared for the future of work, and how can the topic of processes help us here? Can you explain this to the community?
Yes, thanks, Elmar. And also a warm welcome from my side. Yeah, my name is Steffen Tenschert from UiPath. I'm an advisor at UiPath, helping our customers really driving that transformation journey. And I don't have prepared any UiPath slides for today, just slides for you to talk about you and the value for you. If you want to find something about UiPath, just check out uipath.com. Over the last couple of months, we talked a lot, Symbio and UiPath, how we can connect our two technologies together to really provide value to you. And some of the discussion really ended up in the roadmap when you saw that earlier today. And when we discussed the value to bring to you, we really took then the level on a more holistic view. Yeah, what needs to be changed to really come to a future of work. And I'm actually happy to be able to present that to you and to share all the thoughts we had together and share it also with the customers of Symbio. And here we are. When we discussed that, we actually came out that for that process kind of view we have in here, there are three important levers to consider when we think about the future of work. The one thing which is really important, and the most important anytime, are our people, our employees. So for us, it's really important to understand where our employees struggle on their daily job. Yeah, it's really, we saw already the initial presentation from Mehrwerk, where we really saw the discrepancies between the as is and the to be situation. We saw something about 27% accuracy in that way. But we need to understand, why is that? What is the reason for that? And we need to also take our people on the journey to improve and make their life better. But that brings us actually to the second lever, is really the processes themselves. Yeah. Of course, we have always the intention to improve our processes. Yeah. And we have to come away from that mindset that one time we have everything done and everything works great and we have a standardization of the process and now we are done. No, it's actually something continuously. There will be always changes in the world to our business. Macroeconomics are currently very uncertain, so we don't know what's going to happen in the next months and years. So there always will be changes, even from regulatory perspective. So it's not that sometimes everything is in place and we are done. So it's continuously adjusting. And that brings us to the last lever, is really how can we optimize and get the best out of our process improvements. So we need to use technology and technology wisely. So it's not about, oh, there's a new fancy tool out there, let's implement it at our company, that we also on that list and do that. No, it's about thinking first, where do we have optimization potential? And then what kind of technologies can add value to that? And sometimes it's a little bit more from that vendor or from the other one. So it's not just applying technologies, really doing it wisely. So bringing those things together, and this is something what we saw quite nicely in the roadmap a little bit earlier, when we saw, for example, the Business Navigator. Yeah, this is one of the key features from Symbio where they're working on. And why is that also? And this needs, because the focus are the people. So it's not that we're driving here in transformation with the technology. We're driving in transformation coming from the culture perspective, from the people. The people need to have the mindset they want to improve something. They want to work with technologies to let them help. So technology is not just an accelerator, but it has to be culture transformation, having a mindset about this. Okay, but when we saw earlier the presentation about like Merrick, and we just usually had this Power BI, this nice presentation over there, bring the dots and pieces together. When we think about the future of work, it's really that we're doing something continuously. And Symbio could be a part in the middle to bring the dots and pieces together. Yeah? So because when you really think about your business model, you want to understand what you do. So you want to do maybe process mining, you want to document your processes with BPM, yeah? But there are other technologies out there. And then you understand where's potential for improvement. And then you can apply, for example, automate. We as UiPath, we are an automation company. We are the company with the software robots. You might have seen that. You can apply robots to improve and lift the potential you have identified with process mining or process documentation. But then the second part is important as well. Monitor the thing. That's why we saw the Power BI, because it's really about monitoring how things have been improved. Is there a business model behind that to apply business optimization and so on? And then we heard a lot also about this action center, was also on the roadmap from Symbio. It's really to put action on that. So whenever we see there is something not going right, or maybe needs an employee, a human to be involved, then you need to react on that. That's why most of the technology vendors have those kind of action centers. So we heard that from Merrick, we heard that from Symbio, we as UiPath, we have also an action center. They all have that to really inform people, the employees, to take action. And then, of course, it's a 360-degree view. It's a continuous improvement. After an improvement is before the next improvement of that. So this is something to take away as a mindset. So it's not a one-time project sponsored by the management and we are done. No, it's continuous. And this is a mindset employees should have in their DNA. Okay, the question is now, where are we? Where are the customers? Where are you, especially on that journey? And I'm a little bit provocant and say the journey has only begun. So we are not at the end yet. So when we're really looking at the companies, and I talk a lot to different types of companies on their journey and where they are, and especially also how they see themselves where they're on that journey. And the question is always, when you think about the process you're looking at and when you're looking for improvement. So when we looked at the purchase to pay process with Merrick, it's really important to think, do we really look in individual areas where we're identifying maybe on a task level issues, problems, bottlenecks, or do we really think about team-wide a process? Or even further, do we think about a process in the entire department? Or would be the entire goal, or should be actually thinking from a value chain perspective? A lot of the time I talk to companies and ask, okay, who is owner of a process? We have task owner and we have application owner. We have an application owner for Symbio. Okay, yeah. But if you really want to look from an optimization point of view, you want to look on the entire process. You want to have people, persons which are responsible for the end-to-end process, because they can oversee the connections and bring the dots and pieces together. And this is the question also, that's why we have a little poll in here actually. You can scan this barcode to the right, and you can actually, there is a multiple choice to say, what do you think where you are as an organization, as a company at the moment? Are you really having the mindset for tasks and so on? Yeah, Elmar, you want to try?
I sent also the link to the chat, so you can also click it directly and shortly give us a poll where you are in new companies, and you have a better feeling, and we can discuss this a little bit, what we can do to change this. In the end, it's clear our idea is to bring it to the top, to the value chain organization. And Steffen will explain, or we both will explain, how we can do this later on. But nevertheless, if you want, please give us a short poll. We can also react later on this, on the answer.
Yes, so you can monitor the results, Elmar, and you will share, give us the results later on. But it's really important. the majority of our customers, honestly, what I'm seeing, they're not seeing themselves on the value chain level yet. I see some newcomers in the market, newly created companies started, and maybe the last 2, 3, 4 years, they already started with that mindset of having process responsibility for the entire chain. But all companies which are long in the market, they have old setup. They're thinking a little bit more siloed on task or even process level. Would be interesting to see the results.
Yeah, I think that's also what we know from the business process management. We have this a lot of silos and different responsibilities, and yeah, our customers also are now creating the end-to-end processes. It's clear, and I think that is the beginning of the change. And yeah, Steffen, how can we realize this change in the company?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually, because we now understand actually what is important to us, our 3 levers. We most likely, I'm not seeing the results of the poll. I'm most likely, I guess, you're somewhere in the task process area at the moment. So we know that we have something to do. We have something in front of us. And Elmar and myself, we also said, okay, let's bring that actually to a picture to really visualize and maybe open the glass bowl and take a look how a future of work could look like. And hopefully we found a good way of drawing a little picture, really to give you the understanding how we see a company will act in the future. Let's assume this is actually your office, your company in the middle. And as I said, what is really important, what you need to establish in your company, in your organization, is really to have process owner with an ownership for the entire value chain. Yeah, think across departments, think organization-wide. That's really, really important. Yeah, this is something we can just recommend. And with Symbio, where you're really modeling your processes in end-to-end form, you might get really the assignment to those people taking the ownership. On the other side, I said we want to apply technology wisely. What is really important to have also a team in place. I call it here the automation COE, Center of Excellence, which managing this transformation, meaning what are the technologies to use to make our life better? Maybe to connect a process mining tool, maybe applying an automation tool to solve that, or applying a Power BI tool. All those kind of things. An automation team needs to look at what are technologies which can add a value to the company, and then provide also the service internally, organizing trainings, sharing the knowledge with the employees. So you need to have those in place. But then it comes about who's actually doing the work within your organization when you have that. Of course, with all the shortage of employees at the moment we see in the market, I mean, there is no way around that you will apply workflow solutions, maybe software robots, something which can take over some of the jobs which we cannot fill with positions anymore. Yeah. They're anyway also adding a benefit. They're faster, they're accurate, they can work 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So they're always around. So we call it digital workforce. With all the time, you're either covering the shortfall of employees, but also making time free for the people. You really enable your employees with the knowledge they have, with all the expertise to really work on the more important jobs, to really identify more business opportunities, working on the strategy, yeah, really making things better, improving the processes as well. Yeah? And of course, when you're looking for the little talents which are still out there, you might be a good workplace, because who wants to really fill Excel sheets on a day-by-day basis? They also want to do something different. And then, of course, you have a lot of people still doing those Excel sheets, but maybe not every day. That's why we call them the digital employees. Those are the ones using technology on a day-by-day basis. And we saw the Business Navigator. The Business Navigator is a typical example, or a perfect example, for a digital employee. You have all the information in one place. You can trigger an automation. You can trigger the process mining results. You can open your Power BI reports and so on. You want to have one place. You don't want to navigate around through 20 tools to find what you need to do. You want to have everything consolidated because you want to be efficient, and this makes your life easier. But with all the data for the employee, and especially when I looked at the BI reports, it's important we can also support the leadership. Yeah, with efficient and also informed information about the latest and accurate data, they can make the right decision. We all know when we do wrong decision, how that impacts our costs and our work. We have to solve that wrong decision afterwards. Yeah, so you see, in the future of work, we see different responsibilities, but also how technology, and especially when you're looking at Sympio and then maybe also UiPath with automation, how technology can help for the different users. Yeah, this is really important to understand.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you. I think that is clear now, and I can also give a first response from the polling. And as you already expected, no one is on the value chain part. And let me see, we have 22% on the business process, and the most part is with 67% say, okay, our level is on process level, and the rest, the 11%, are on task level here in our round. So that is, yeah.
What that's good results. That's good results, because I think with the usage of Sympio, a lot of companies already moved from task to process or even business process level, because you're documenting your process end to end. Yeah. So this is an expected result.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So yeah, let us give us, or can you give us an example, Steffen, for example, the process owner? How can they find the potentials now for new automations?
I think this is, I think we have now to connect also a little bit. I'm here from UiPath. We're also a software vendor. I think it's really important, Emma, that you're also asking how now this symbiosis of the two tools, UiPath and Sympio, can help the different personas on that. And yeah, I prepared also a few of them. Maybe let's look at one or two of the persona, how the connection or the integration of our two solutions, our platform, can help the people. And you asked for process owner, so let's start with process owner in this case. Okay. As we saw, and later on, you will also see this business navigator. And I think what is really important from a process owner perspective, I want to have all information in place. And it was really important to see earlier when you saw the presentation with Mehrwerk, where you really could connect it or could connect the as is and the to be data. So you had your reference model of your process, and it was nicely connected with the as is analysis. And this is really important, because once you understand that there are discrepancies in that, this is the connection of process mining or even task mining with Sympio to have a real view on the reality. This is the first place. The second thing is actually what we can provide then within Sympio is to run business simulations on that. You can see where are potentials to change something, get rid of process steps, maybe applying automation technology to that with UiPath, for example. And you can run even a simulation within Sympio to see the result and the impact. Because at the end, one thing is about identifying potential, and you have a nice KPI. You have millions of savings you can achieve. But it's always the question, realize the savings. What is actually the cost for implementing this saving? Is it realistic to achieve that? Yeah, and this is something what you can do within Sympio to run business simulations on different scenarios, and then running a business assessment. Because with all the ideas, you can then also say where to start with. Where are the low-hanging fruits to do improvements, to change processes, to automate something, and then getting the results back. Yeah, and this is something we worked quite heavily in our discussion.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, as you already said, I think the combination in the end is the key here. For example, we use existing data from business partners, and they know exactly where are the highest potentials, and you map this with your data, and then also map this with data from your UiPath, for example, from the orchestrator or from the process mining. Also, UiPath have a process mining tool, and then in the end, you really see very easy where your next potentials to do your next automations. Yeah, that's a really nice idea, and we are working here together to establish this functionality, and I think this will help a lot of customers to go the future way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe not another example, because I'm just checking the time, so we have time for another persona to look at. And the other really important one is our digital employee. Yeah, so how can we really work in a digital world and using the technology? And one major topic also around your day is actually the business navigator. So I have also a live screenshot from a development team at Symbio, where we really created this integration between Symbio and UiPath. So the reason is, as I said, as an employee, I don't want to look at emails, at chat systems, messaging systems, chatbots, all the different places. I want to have everything in one place. That's what I like to have, where I come in the morning and see what I have to do. So we need to integrate and provide the data for different things. That's why Action Center, what we saw on the roadmap, is so important, because I want to have the information and the link to my action to perform the action directly from the navigator. So that's why it's really important when I see, or I really like actually when I see that on the roadmap, that this is the biggest investment from Symbio to really provide the employees the capability to work hand in hand with the technology. Because if you provide that, you're reaching not just one employee or not just 5 who are like a little bit the IT background. You can achieve the entire organization, all your employees, for 10,000, even more. That's really important.
Yeah, that's you say it very nicely, and that is totally the idea behind the navigator. And to say it also again, the topics from the Action Center, it's clear it will also integrate in the navigator. Maybe that was not clear in our first presentation. In the end, you have this one interface to the end user, and everything what you do in your daily business is here combined. And in this example, you see on the bottom, you can, for example, directly start a robot to help you in your daily business, to do not the boring work in the end, and can concentrate, as Steffen explained in the beginning, on the work. You are creative and have maybe not enough time today to do this, because you are doing too much work for some repeating boring work in the end. I think that is another topic for the future. We are not far away, as you already know. Navigator is more or less in release in the next months, and then we already integrate in our dev environment this robots here, so it is working. We can say it. There are existing interfaces from UiPath, so it's not a future topic. So you will see it really in a half a year, or that you can really use this combination from both worlds in the end.
Yeah. All right. With the matter of time, I will skip the last persona slide I prepared, maybe switching to what can you really achieve at the end. Because yes, definitely it's nice that there is something we need to improve, and nice as technology, but it will cost some money. But what is really the business case, or what are the KPIs we really can achieve? And I took some examples. Yeah, what you can achieve, what are the values you can achieve, also standalone from either Symbio or UiPath, but also with both solutions together. And I just collected some major challenges we typically see, like non-compliance. So we have compliance issues. We maybe have not the standards and processes. Someone is on mute. Okay. Then it's also the. Someone needs to go on mute, please. Okay, thank you. Then we have the untapped potential we are missing because we don't really see that. We have a lot of still manual executions. That's why I talked about automation. But when I also looked at the leadership, how we can support it with insights in the real data, with Power BI, for example. So we have all those kind of challenges. And with Symbio UiPath, with those tools, what can you really improve? Of course, you can improve the compliance, standardization, and so on. Yeah? So really, you can improve quality, speed, avoid costs, and so on. And when I really transfer that in KPIs, it's pretty hard to say always because it really depends, of course, to the company size, to how far you're already in the journey when we did the polling. So you're maybe a little bit earlier, you're maybe a little further already on your journey. So, but I just was looking at all the use cases that we have and give you some kind of guidance what you really can achieve, what is realistic also, and that you can transfer it also to your own. Yes, that's why I made it a little bit connected to the revenue or even to the employee number, so you can count yourself then up what can you achieve by applying the technology wisely. So with that, I think we are on point, and I can just say thank you, and I will take a look at the questions, of course. Elmar.
Yeah, thank you, Steffen. I think, yeah, that shows us really how the future with both solutions will improve our daily business in the end. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to show these ideas and already plan topics to all our customers. I think we can, yeah, here on a really good way.